everybody, it's Amanda Williams. Very common name, right? I was challenged to do an It Works video on my a why video on why I joined It Works. And my why is pretty emotional, but I'm going to try not to cry throughout this. My why is my kids. I'm a single mom to 3 kids. My story starts long ago, but my why is pretty recent. I wanted to be able to give my kids the life that I had growing up that my kids don't have. I've been raising my kids on my own pretty much their entire lives, and it's kind of sucked. We've been really poor. We've struggled a lot. And people have been there for moments, but not really for like long periods of time. I grew up not wealthy, but my parents took really good care of us, and we never went without, if that makes sense. We always had what we needed. But me and my kids, I say no to my kids, like, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. No, I don't have money to go buy bread. Those are the no's that I want to take away from my kids. I decided young in my life to make some decisions that changed mine and my kids' lives. It made it kind of difficult. I made some bad choices when I was a teenager and didn't stop making them until 3 years ago. I'm a recovering addict, and that goes into part of my why too. I was an addict in active addiction for 16 years, and it kind of killed a lot of time that I could have taken to my advantage. When I decided to walk away from that lifestyle and change my life, I had 2 little children who were 4 and 3 and didn't have anything. Just me, them, and a garbage bag full of clothes. And that's all we had. And I was determined to make their lives different. I was determined to take away that no, and I was determined to give them a house. And I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was determined. I then went on this discovery phase of my life, I guess, which would lead me to moving to Indiana. When I did move to Indiana approximately 2 years ago, I found out that I was pregnant with a little girl. And I was curious to figure out how in the world I was going to support 3 kids when I could barely support 2. To back up a little bit in my story, when my son was 5 years old, he was diagnosed as neurologically disabled. He had neurological problems and breathing problems and immune problems and all kinds of things before his diagnosis. But at that point, it became evident that it was a lifelong disability. So all I had going for me at that point was welfare, and that's it. And I was determined not to raise my kids on welfare. I attempted to get a job, but was unsuccessful because I had to leave work all the time because I couldn't get adequate daycare for my son. I had my daughter in August of last year. No, yep, August of 2014. And I struggled. I struggled. I moved to Idaho February of last year in order to attempt to create a safe life for my daughter. And my older 2, who had been through pretty much everything with me already, I never wanted my daughter to know the struggles that my older two had known with me. I wanted to create a life for them that wasn't always complicated. I needed a full-time job. I needed more pay than a full-time job would give me. But I was looking for a full-time job when I met Des, who is one of my bestest friends now. And she told me about this program. And she's like, hey, I know this program and you can make an income and you can stay at home with your kids. You don't have to worry about babysitting. Like, you can build a career out of it and it's awesome. And all you have to do is help people. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way at all whatsoever. I looked into it, but I didn't really jump at first. She kept telling me about it and telling me about it. And then I got some bad news. I found out that my baby's father, which she was a year then, but baby to me, my baby's father had passed away from stage 4 cancer. And at that point, I was like, how in the world am I going to raise this little girl all by myself? Like, it's just me and my 3 kids against the world. And just, it seems so impossible. And I told Des, let's go. Sign me up. Let's go. Let's do this. I have nothing else going for me in the world. And I can't fail them. I can't. I have to pay for 3 college tuitions. I have to get 3 kids through extracurricular activities. Like, I have to give them a home. I have to give them everything. Let's do it. Shortly after I joined, probably a month after I joined, I had medical issues pop up. And it kind of put a halt on what I was doing, but I still kept pushing forward. The doctors thought I had MS and told me that it might impact the length of my life. At that point, I became even more determined to secure a future for my kids, to make sure that they had what they needed, even if I wasn't here anymore to provide it for them. I want to be able to not only purchase a vehicle for me, but purchase a vehicle for me and whoever may live on to take care of my kids. And a house for them to live in, so that I never have to worry about where my kids are going to live. So they never have to worry about moving in the event something tragic happens. They've dismissed pretty much everything and have it down to a possibility of scoliosis and Parkinson's, which isn't awesome, but it's better than other things that I was going to fight. That was only a week ago. And at that point, I decided I needed something to push me forward in this business. But I didn't know what it was. And that's when I found Destination to Diamond. I love what everybody's doing. All of our leaders in this business. And I love Des for bringing me into this business. My video is kind of a little chaotic because I think I went back and forth, but I hope that it helps everybody get to know me a little bit more, because my why is truly my kids. I don't want them to have to hurt for anything, whether I'm presently here or not. So I'm trying to make the biggest footprint I can on this earth while I'm here, so that when I leave this earth, not only are my kids set, but they're positively influenced. And I want to help as many people as I can before it's my time. I want to tell people that I know this works because I use this program. Because everything's possible as long as you believe.